Hello everyone. We are in June, in the darkest winter days here in New Zealand. So let's brighten them a bit by having a look at a few games. I've got a stack here of them, as you can see. They've been accumulating, breeding in our lounge. And I noticed that I've got games sitting there going back to the beginning of the year. So I've got a whole selection from what arrived 5-6 months ago to what arrived just this week. So let's have a look through them. I received World's End Club this week, and I'm very excited about that, obviously, because it's by Kotaro Uchikoshi, famous for the Zero Escape series, and I'm looking forward to playing that. Hopefully Poodlepa will have time to join me, because I think it's the sort of game we might enjoy together. So I'll just get the wrapping off, because I think there's something else inside, it being the deluxe edition. Okay, so here we have the inside of the case, World's End Club. Friendships will be tested as mysteries unfold in the newest story from Kotaro Uchikoshi and Kazutaka Kodaka, it says on the back. And it says it includes a digital soundtrack sampler and a mini art book. So let's have a look at that. Oh, that's a generous track list for a sampler, I would say. I've seen samplers that are only 4 or 5 tracks long. This looks nice with 20 tracks. And a little art book that is stapled, but the pages are not too thin and it looks nicely printed. So we have the characters. And of course I don't know them yet. It's quite a different art style to what Uchikoshi has done before, but I do like the very free-flowing style of the design. Now, she looks very cute and quite determined, like I think she will have her own way. It's a whole club of children, obviously, so there are a lot of characters and a bit of concept art, but that is really, this booklet is too small for that type of art, I think. Just some tiny snapshots. And that's it, but it's nice to have the character artwork. I'm looking forward to that very much, and will report in due course my impressions. Now, I have a game that I supported on Kickstarter. I don't often do Kickstarter anymore, it's very rare actually, but I did in this case, and the reason is that the artwork for the game looked so incredible and so convincing to me that I wanted to support the project. The price points were very reasonable, so I got both editions, the PS4 edition and the Switch edition as an add-on. So this is Battle Axe, and I have a little bit of information in my notes about it. It's inspired by the classic adventure games of the 80s and 90s. It's an arcade top-down hack and slash, and the creator is veteran pixel artist Henk Nieborg. It was released in April of this year, so it is quite new. It is of course available digitally, so there's no problem getting a hold of the game, and I have also seen copies listed at retailers, certainly at European ones. I'm pretty sure it'll be available in North America as well. And here we have the game itself. There is no insert or manual or anything in the case, just the disc. But it came with a little bit of extra. There were 2 sheets with little stickers and a soundtrack. Music by Manami Matsumae, 12 tracks, so that's nice to have. And the game and the disc were all published by Numbskull. Bitmap Bureau, I think, is the name of the developer. Numbskull Games is the publisher. So I'll keep moving as fast as I can because we have the daylight going. I have a game called Iris Fall, obviously an indie game. As far as I know, it's a puzzle game, but it sounded quite intriguing, so I grabbed a copy from my supplier in Europe. Now this is Dungeons 3. Many of you might know the game. Please let me know what you think, because I have no experience with it. I simply grabbed it because one of our local retailers was putting it in the bargain bin, so I picked it up for just a few dollars. That seemed worth it. And I'm not totally sure whether it's my kind of genre, because I believe it's sort of real-time strategy and a bit of resource management. I'm not sure I'm very good with that, but I'll certainly give it a go. And if you have any comments about the Dungeons games, do let me know. I'll leave this in its cellophane because I'm not playing it straight away. This is obviously an older game. I'm still rounding out my PlayStation 3 collection. Silent Hill Homecoming. Ooh, horror. I grabbed this. I don't think they will be around too much longer, copies, so I thought that might be well worth having one in the Silent Hill series. I'm not big on horror and not very experienced with it, but I have taken a liking to the older Silent Hill games, so that might be really good to dive into one day. Okay, here we have a very small indie game called Mooseman. It's published by a small French publisher called Red Art Games. Their games always come with a cardboard cover. I won't open the cellophane because I have the game digitally. With these games you have to pre-order such a long time before they get published and then shipped out that I had practically forgotten it was coming. So in the meantime, I had in one of the PSN sales, I'd grabbed the digital copy for a few dollars. And in fact, Poodlepa and I were looking at it only today because we're both very interested in stories about very different and not well-known ethnic groups and their folklore and legends. But when we started it up, I found the controls were really poor on the PlayStation 4. It didn't play terribly well, and we were rather disappointed because it looks really nice and interesting. I'm afraid it looks like it'll be a bit of a pain to play through it, but we will attempt it. So that's a bit of a shame, but anyway, there it is. The next one I will unwrap because that is a Neptunia game, Virtual Stars. So I'll just quickly get the cellophane wrapper off. So this is the day 1 edition of Neptunia Virtual Stars. I didn't get the limited edition because frankly, even as a quite big Neptunia fan, I was not convinced it would be worth getting a limited edition for. I'll have to see. A lot of people seem to like the game, so that's good. But as you probably know, the Neptunia series has been going for a long, long time, and there have been a lot of spin-offs, and they seem to be retreading the same ground all the time. I don't see them doing much new. Graphically, they weren't improved much either over the years. So I've grown just a wee bit tired of what they're doing, and I'm really hoping that they might, either bring out a different franchise or revive the Neptunia franchise and do something really new and exciting with it. So I haven't got very high expectations, which is maybe just as well, and I'll just dive in and, as usual, have some fun. Band together with virtual idols and save the planet emote. So here's the game, obviously. A poster, 8 trading cards, a sticker sheet. We'll see. There is a double-sided poster. Which is fine. Yes, Poodlepa says, lock in the game case. Okay. And here we are. In the game case, we'll have a look. Stickers. Stickers galore. Just the usual insert, but with a nice picture. And tiny little art cards is maybe just a teeny weeny exaggeration. They're more like little trading cards. Noir, blanc, vert, me, me. Maybe that's the virtual idol? I don't know. You. Okay. Me and you. Weiß. And Licht, which is a German word and means light. Very cute. And that's the Neptunia Day 1 edition. And we go on to Port Royale 4. Now I have Port Royale 3 on the PS3. I'm hoping that the gameplay on the PS4 might be a bit smoother. It says there's a poster with a map inside, so we'll open up. I'm not huge on these building empires type of games, strategy, trading games, but just occasionally I like to play one that's not too complex, sort of relax with it a bit. And there we are, Port Royale 4, and I'll get the poster out. And it helps if you know your ships in this type of game. And here's the map. So covering a nice big area in what looks like the Caribbean. I'm just having another look at Neptunia. I think there's a reversible cover. I just want to check that. Yes, so this is the alternate side. To be honest, it doesn't look an awful lot different to me. They both look very similar. So, okay, I'm really looking forward to the Mummy. Now this was published by Limited Run Games, and I do have some notes on this. It's described as a Metroidvania game, and it was released in October 2017, so quite a while ago. I remember reading about it at the time and thinking that sounds like a lot of fun, but I never really got onto it until I saw Limited Run doing a physical copy. Way Forward made the game, so I thought there was a good chance that it might be a decent game, although it is licensed from the movie The Mummy, of course, which is a bit of a daft movie, but Poodlepa and I, we enjoyed it. On a Friday night, it's just perfect. So I have heard good things about this game. The Mummy Demastered. This is Chronos before the Ashes, and I hesitated for the longest time about getting a copy because it is described as a prequel to Remnant from the Ashes. So it's easy to get confused with the title. So this is a prequel to the previously released game Remnant from the Ashes, which was a third-person shooter and apparently best played in co-op. So it didn't really fit what I usually play, so I bypassed it. But this game is, I think, a bit different, and that's why I got it. It's just described as a Souls-like type of game, and I'm assuming that it'll be mainly single player and hopefully not a shooter. I don't think it is. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons was a big favourite of mine on the PS3. I played it there, and I knew that I would want to replay it one day. So having it on the PS4 is convenient, and I look forward to doing just that. And the last two games are my absolute favourite genre, and that is tactical, turn-based strategy games, RPGs. And the first one is Star Renegades. I've heard a lot of good things about this game. Star Renegades is also described as a roguelite. Apparently almost everything these days is rogue-like or roguelite. Rogue-like features, if they are done well and they fit the game, they can be absolutely wonderful, and I do like a good rogue-like or roguelite with just light features. But there are many games recently that have just tried to slap those features on top of a game where it's not really that suitable, and all they do is irritate the player, and then they walk away saying, I don't really like a roguelike or roguelite game, not knowing that if the features are really well implemented, it can be a fantastic gaming experience. So I have high hopes of this one. You can see it's got the Japanese ratings symbol, and that is because the physical copy was only published in Japan and possibly Asia, but like many games nowadays, more and more of them published in Japan do have English subtitles included. It's always worth checking for that feature. It's surprising how many games do have that. And the last one is also a Japanese published game, Fell Seal, and I have been looking forward to this one for a long time. I was about to get it digitally when I heard that they were bringing out a physical copy so I waited for this. Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark. I might just open that one up. I don't think there's anything inside. And yes, it is disc only. And that is today's selection of games, spanning many months of mail deliveries. I think there's quite a good range and variety of games here. Hopefully something that interested you among this assortment. That was it for today, from Battle Axe to Neptunia, from Silent Hill to Port Royale. I think I've covered quite a lot here. Let me know if anything piques your interest. Thank you very much for watching. As always, please keep well. I'm Food for Dogs. Bye-bye.